Share. Oops, that's the wrong button. Okay, so Kyuden no Shi, Chapter 4, The Death of the Palace. That's a dramatic title. Our first line is going to go to Josh.
Um, アラナがラロンと戦った次の日、ガレス公爵から受けたnot sure, maybe 儒教? I'm not sure.
It's close to that. I think it's not pronounced like that, but similar meaning. It's some kind of like lecture.
うん。は長くて、しかも、印象的だった。Um,
Sekyo.
so, wait, Sekyo? Oh, for
Mhm.
that. Okay. Uh, but that is still lecture, right?
Yes. It's
Okay.
more like a sermon.
Okay, so the day following the fight, um, ガレス公爵から受けた, I guess, is so the Duke is the one doing the lecture? That's the part that I'm
Yeah.
a little confused about. Okay.
The lecture you received from the Duke. That seems right.
And then I guess insho tekidata. I know insho is impression,
Mm.
but I'm not sure what it's saying here.
Um,
Insho tekidata.
I guess even though it was long, it really like it went straight into their soul kind of idea,
Hmm.
right? That'd be my guess. Like it left a good impression with you even though it was long. So it wasn't like a long lecture that you fall asleep in. It's like a
Hmm.
long lecture and you're like, wow, I guess.
Okay.
Um, Next line is for Grayson.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, 規則は他の、um, oh, wait, that's the same. Yeah, 規則に対して務めがある。
Hi. Tsutome means like duty. So kizuku wa tsutome ga aru. What does that mean?
Um, I don't know about 貴族. Was it,
Mm,
oh, family.
Kizoku, close. That is the zoku for family. The ki is like expensive, kind of like takai. Because together kizoku means nobles, like noblemen.
Um, um,
So, do you know what aru means?
the B.
Mm, I'm not sure if that's fully. I mean, what does to be even mean? To be or not to be? That is the question. I guess it does mean that.
It's,
Uh, it seems
yeah,
like a hard way to remember it.
okay.
Because I don't feel like it's normal because we don't use to be in English, right? Like it has a meaning, but we don't use that word, at least not in American English, unless they're pretending to be Shakespeare. So to be is like is, right? Or am.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
which
conjugate form to be.
So that's the more common form, is it? So you can use it for that. It is one of the ises in English. So English has two types of ises, right? It has the copula is, which would be da in Japanese, like she is pretty. And then we have helping verb is. And by to be, we're referring to the helping verb is, which is we're saying that something is existing at the present period of time. So this, like without a subject, it's just saying there is something, is basically what the audio is saying. There exists. So the thing that exists is marked by ga, which is the tsutome, right? So tsutome ga aru means there is a duty, right? Or a duty exists, to like literally translate it. Since in English there is a duty as a fill-in subject, which isn't really we can't really say duty is there. It's something that we can't really say in English. So I'm not sure how we could put to be in the sentence. The duty to be here, right? So it's like not wrong, but like I don't know how we could word to be in English. I don't know how to do it. So anyway, there exists a duty. What kind of duty exists? Do you know?
Um, uh, a noble duty?
That's really, really close. The kizoku here isn't noble like an adjective, it's noble like noblemen, like a
Yeah.
class of people. So with the wa here, what grammatically is going on here is actually niwa. Oops, yeah, ni wa. But it's very common for the ni of niwa to be dropped when you're using the verb adu or idu. Specifically adu, about I'd say 99% of the time, that knee is dropped by context. But knee, do you know what knee marks?
Like two. Like it's their duty.
It is. Yep, it's marking their duty. A noble has a duty, is probably how this would be translated.
Yeah.
A duty exists at the location where the noble is. The noble has a duty. So that's what it's saying. And then do you know what taiste means?
Uh, no.
Tai means vs. Basically, it's against versus, and it's just a verb-ish form of that, and te form, which theoretically makes it into an adverb kind of thing. So there exists a duty towards, against somebody else, which is I don't know how that happened. Okay, which hoka no kizoku. What does that mean?
Um, the position of the nobles?
That's really close. So we do have nobles here. Hoka, I think you're thinking about a different word like ho, which is
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
Hoka means other. Like hoka no hito means other people. It can also be pronounced in a different way, like tanin means other people as well. So hoka no kizoku means other nobles. So altogether, this is saying, as for nobles, there exists a duty toward other nobles, is what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And next line will be for me. 宮殿では平和を、保たなければならぬ。弱い者をいじめはいけないと公爵はアラナに語った。So the Duke is telling this to Alanna in a very like he's the only one talking here, right? Hitorigoto kind of way. And what he says is that within the palace, we must preserve the peace, and you cannot bully the weak, which is a weird thing to tell Alanna. Um, and the next line will be for Josh.
すで、 I've never seen that written in kanji if that's like sude ni type of sude. But anyway, sude de no tatakai wa heiwa ga heiwa.
It's close. Why is it doing that? So Heiwa was right over here with the wa from Nihongo.
Oh,
Um,
heimin.
yes.
Okay. So, sude de no tatakai wa heimin ga suru goraku de maybe hini?
That'd be my guess. And you're right. It means nobility, grace,
Really?
dignity.
日にがない。または、シャンセンシの世いる技だと公爵は告げた。So I'm going to stop there and go over in English. Is the sude, what is the sude? Do you know it?
Yeah. Do you know what te is?
Hand.
Su is basically saying bare in this context, bare hand. I think it means pure
Oh,
as like the literal meaning.
okay. Yeah, I think that first kanji is like kind of like fundamental, if I'm
Yeah,
not
it means like
mistaken.
one's nature, oneself,
Mm,
unadorned, plain. So your pure hand, your unadorned, plain hand.
that makes sense. So, 素手で戦いは平民がする娯楽で品位がない。Um, so fighting with your bare hands, 平民がする娯楽で I feel like it's saying it's something that the peasants enjoy,
Yeah.
and 品位がない, and it has like no grace to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
また
exactly.
は、紳士の世いる技だと公爵は告げた. And then like furthermore, Sean, I'm wondering if that's like the army or
Uh,
country or something.
it could be, but this was referred earlier in the previous chapter about the martial artists that George,
Oh,
similar names. Georgie taught Alanna. He was like, "You guys don't have a Shando practitioner anymore, right?" And Alanna was like, "Yeah, they went on to a journey somewhere." And he's like, "Well, in that case, I can go teach you some things." This, speaking of that, has been dropped from the comic. How rude. Um, they did not talk about that. He just said, "I can go teach you some moves, girl, boy." But yeah, that's what that is.
so またはシャンセン氏の良いる技だと公爵は告げた. So then I guess he like the Duke started briefing her on the the techniques of the Shan
Hmm.
warriors
Yeah,
that
he
they
starts
use.
telling her the techniques that are used by the Shan warriors, and then he says something else.
そして君は平民でもシャンセン氏でもない. And he says, uh, like, and then you are, wait, 平民でもシャンセン氏でもない. And he says, you are neither a peasant nor a Shan warrior.
Yeah, so he's like, "Why are you fighting barehanded, girl?"
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so this right here, I feel like something has been dropped. Or so she says, fighting barehanded, right, has no honor and it's something that peasants do for pleasure. Or it's the techniques used by Shan warriors. So mata
Mm.
was like an or in the context. So that's how that gets flown together. Doo, doo, doo. アラナはラロの父上に、正面で、正式な謝罪をしなければならない。それから2ヶ月間、宮殿から、外出禁止だ。 So I don't know what shazai is, so I'm gonna Google that word. Shazai. Um, so Alanna, she has to go write down a letter to Rodon's father, apologizing about what she did, which was beat the crap out of him. And then for the next 3 months, she is not allowed to go outside from the palace. And where did that go? There it goes. I've never seen showman before, so interesting that's used for letter.
Yeah, I haven't seen that
Showman.
either.
Document letter. Specifically, it's for the contents that are written in a letter. Okay, next scanned page, please. Ah. Ooh, you've
So
been scanning
it's
them all
in
the time.
chat.
Nice.
This is the only one that didn't turn out quite clear, and I tried taking a few, and for some reason I can't get this page
It's all
very
good.
crisp.
Yeah, when I do it, I get like a little stand for the phone, right? And then I
Oh,
take it
that's a
with
good
that. So
idea.
that's what helped it be really sturdy. 'Cause otherwise, it's like you have to hold it clean with both hands and the phone. It could be very hard to do. So yeah, no rush to get them all done because at some point I'll scan them all so it's all together.
Mm.
Um, okay, this line right here will go to Grayson.
は気をつけ、wait, hang on. つけの、あして、たったまま来ていた。
はい。So first off, アランナは聞いていた。
Um, Alanna listened.
That is possible. Yes, it probably is listen in this context. Totally. Do you know what mama means?
I don't remember.
So mama is a weird word that doesn't really exist in English. Mama means the previously stated condition is continuing to occur, is what it says. So in this context, while is a great way to translate it, but there's a lot of different ways it gets translated in different contexts because all it's saying is previously stated condition is continuing. So while is very similar to it, but doesn't always have the same connotation. So it says Alanna is listening while doing something else. While, this version of while is a noun in Japanese, so it means it gets described by the relative clause. So it is while doing tatta. What does tatta mean?
Standing.
Perfect. And do you know what the de particle marks?
Um, was that the way to combine verbs?
So te form
Yeah.
is used to combine verbs together. It basically turns one verb into an adverb grammatically to allow you to combine verbs together. And certain verbs will end with de and te form, such as yonde, to read. But de as a particle is separate than te form. So there's three uses of the de particle. There's the tool. For example, naifu de koroshita means to kill someone with a knife. There's a location, such as Toshukan de hon no yonda. I read a book in the library. And then there is da, which is, right? That particle that is being conjugated into te form, which is what we actually saw on the previous page with gokuraku de. That was da being conjugated into de form in order to do an and in the middle of the sentence. That's why the peasants were just fighting people for pleasantry rather than it wasn't the tool used for fighting pleasantry. It was probably the is de. So of these three, tool makes the most sense in this context. So he's standing with this tool, which in this case is kind of metaphorical. Shisei means posture. So posture normally refers to correct posture. which is, standing up straight. But it doesn't necessarily mean, like you could say your sisei is bad, right? That'd be bad posture. But the context is that she's referring to her good posture, right? So she listens while standing and doing something with her posture. She is kiotsuke no shisei. What does kiotsuke mean?
Um, Ki is like the spirit, and then
Mm-hmm.
Suke was that to open?
Mm. I think you're thinking about lights, because tsukeru can be used to refer to when you're turning on a light, because you're closing in a circuit.
Yeah,
It literally means like to attach.
right.
Right? So you're attaching the spirit to something. That is the literal translation of this word. This is not used like, ki is the hardest word in Japanese because the idea of the spirit doesn't really exist in English. So instead, we like use 5,000 different words to illustrate the same kind of idea. So here, you're attaching your spirit means you're attaching your awareness to something. Kiotsukeru means to be careful because you attach your awareness to something so that you're very aware of it. So, in other words, it's saying that with keeping good thought process, like keeping awareness on her posture and standing, she continues to listen. And then next two lines will be for me. アランナは公爵の話し方が大好きだった。I should have given it to you. That was an easy one. 自分がラーロンが倒したことを公爵が怒っているどころか喜んでいるのは分かっていた。So Alanna, she loved the way that the Duke talked. She could easily tell by the way he was talking about whether or not he was happy or what areas he were upset about at how she had beaten the crap out of Raudon. And the next two lines will be for Josh.
でも、これは、いい。しがわつぶり
Yaburi. I think it's
やぶり
Yaburi.
しがわ破りだから、決してそういうわな、わな、is this わないわな
Uh,
糸 It could be わな糸, maybe. Anyway, I'll keep going. わな糸も知っていた。So, the Shigawa is Shigawa to me kind of sounds like
this is
spectator.
kisoku, not kizoku, kisoku, which means
Kisoku.
rule or regulation.
ああ、でもこれは規則破りだから、決してそう言わない。い、言わ、言わる
Iwanai.
Oh, you. Okay. 決してそう言わないとも知っていた. So because this was not part of or because Alanna, yeah, this was like the rules being um not followed. 決してそう言わないとも知っていた. She would never be told that the Duke was happy about it, about her beating up
Yeah,
what's
that
his
it's
face.
not a big deal. Yeah.
そして自分も知っていながら、規則を破ったのだから、不平をこぼさずに、罰を受けなければならないことも。So, and then 自分を知っているながら、because she knew a, because she knew that the rules were being destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Fuhei o Kobosazu. Do you know what Kobosazu is?
To
Kobo.
overfill,
Mm. And I
overflow. Sorry, overfill doesn't make sense.
okay. So Kobosu. Fuhei o Kobosu sounds kind of like there's a lot of discontent brewing.
Yes, but then it's zoo.
Yeah. So Fuhei o Kobosazu. So without discontent brewing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, 罰を受けなければならないことも. Batsu, I feel like is punishment.
Yes.
Okay, so she had to receive a punishment.
Mm-hmm. I love how you
So
translate kobosazu as brewing discontent.
your picture might have kind of went into that.
Okay, that was perfect. And next is my turn. 7は、世界は規則によって収まられて、どのような状況にも規則が、something 要される。So Alanna, she should one should follow the laws of the world, and no matter what kind of situation it is, the rules should be like preserved, I think is what it's saying. But I 100% do not recognize the first kanji in there. It's like tamani
The the
tekyo.
which one?
Uh,
Oh, that one.
yeah.
Oh, it kind of looks like Teki.
Yeah, it says tekio, tekio, which is application of a rule. So it says that rules should be applied no matter what situation that occurs. You should follow the rules. That's what Alanna's world is. I feel like Alanna no Sekai is like a weird thing to say. In Alanna's POV, I guess is what it's saying from her thought processes is that rules should be followed. You gotta apply the rules. So of course she'll be punished. Um, so not the full sentence, but the first clause of the sentence is going to go to Grayson. So you can just read that.
うん
Kyuden is the first kanji.
うん宮殿、あ
Kyuden night.
あ、wait, which part is the night? 宮殿内
仲間
で中なの、and there's that part again, the
貴族
貴族、あと、戦
はい、戦う。
う
Do you know what a kizoku is?
Oh, we had that one already. That was the
Mm-hmm.
nobles.
That was the nobles. Do you know what a nakama is?
I know Naka is inside, but this has like
Oh my
inside, there's
gosh,
like
you've
a
never
person
seen One
inside.
Piece? Oh,
What?
sorry. Nakama is like a super memed word in like a lot of the anime communities because there's a show called One Piece that
Mm-hmm.
the main character uses it like every episode, being like, "Don't touch my nakama, my nakama." Is like a big thing. It's kind of like not knowing Oni-chan, kind of like big anime words. Nakama means comrade. The
Mm.
idea it is somebody in an in group with you. So it doesn't mean friend, just someone in an in group with you. So right here, the in group is kizoku. So all kizoku are kizoku no nakama, basically nakama no kizoku. So it's your fellows, in other words, your fellow nobles is what it's saying. So anything can be a nakama as long as there's some kind of separation group. So for One Piece, everybody on his crew, his pirate crew, are all his nakama because they're all on the same side of being on the same pirate crew type of idea. So yeah. So do you know what the toe particle marks?
Um, and like
It
connecting to
can't.
now.
Yes, it is and with connecting to a noun. Can also be translated as with when you're connecting with a noun. In this
Yeah.
context, with makes more sense because of the verb tatakao. Do you happen to know tatakao?
No.
Tatakao means fight. Um, if you watched Attack on Titan, Yeager yells in his face all the time saying "Tatakai, Tatakai," which is that same verb tatakao. Um, so this is to fight. So fighting with who?
Um, with the fellow nobles.
Yes, fighting with your fellow nobles. Where? We've got that de particle. This time it's marking location instead of tool. 宮殿内で.
Um,
Do you know Kyuden?
no.
Kyuden means palace, like the royal court. Any idea what Nai is adding to that sentence then, just by context?
Um, is it like a courtyard?
That's a really good guess. Kind of. But the Nai means like within, like inside of something. So you
Yeah.
can kind of tell because it has like hito, which looks like haidu
Hmm.
inside, and it's like inside of a building. So the person is like inside the building type of idea. So it says in the palace, one should not fighting noblemen is literally what it says. Fighting noblemen in the palace. And then I'm gonna read the rest of the sentence. No wa kisoku ihan de ガレスはそうしなければならない。Um, the Duke Goddess, right? He must teach people that if you fight inside of the palace grounds with your fellow noblemen, then that is a violation of the rules. それでも規則は侮辱を受けた時の規則では、あなたはラロンと、um, 戦わなければならないことになっていて、規則としての名誉を守ったアラナをガラス公爵は誇りに思っているのだ。So the Duke Goddess is thinking, man, I am so proud of Alanna. She is awesome because Alanna has protected her honor as a nobleman. And it came to be that she really had no choice but to fight Raudon, that Alanna did. Even though it is a time in which the rules um, must receive, I think,
Bujoku
non-following. Yeah, I don't know
was
Bujoku.
insult.
Oh, that makes even more sense. So, at a time when one receives an insult of being like an insult to your nobility, then you have no choice but to uh even with the rules, you have no choice but to fight Groudon. Okay, that makes perfect sense. And the next line is for Grayson.
Um, uh,
公爵 Duke.
公爵の電話を買った耳で、聞きながら Alanna wa um, ki
Good
ma
guess. Omotta.
omota.
And can you read this kanji again?
Denwa?
So den wa, right? The den part of denwa means electricity because denwa is your phone.
Yeah.
So that wa is inside of denwa, but that is the married reading. The I don't know the word. Onyomi kunyomi pair of it. That's what is read when there's two kanji together and they got married and thus they changed their name. However, right now this is before they got married, so it's actually pronounced as hanashi.
Hanashi. Okay.
So 公爵の話を片耳で聞きながら、アラナは思った。So this sentence is アラナは思った. Do you know what 思い means?
To think.
Yes, Alanna thought. Do you know what kara means? Oh, sorry, this is nagara. do 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 do. Do you know what the nagara grammar is? You might not have been taught that yet in class.
I don't think so.
Nagara grammar combines with stem form of a verb is a way to say while in Japanese. So this is the actual word while, unlike mama, which has a little bit extra connotation with it. But for the purposes of these sentences, while is a great way to translate them. So this is while kikuing. You know what kiku means?
Listening.
Exactly. So Alanna is thinking while listening. What is the de particle mark? Kata mimi de.
With her ears?
Yes, with her ears. Tool with. Perfect. So do you
With
know
cat.
what? Yes, kata. That's a part you didn't know. Kata means one half or one side. And when you're combining it with a noun, it just means like one ear. So with one ear, she was listening. The other ear wasn't doing anything. So she was only half listening, in other words, with her ears. And what was she listening to? Do you know?
Listening to the speaking
Mm,
of the public something.
yes, public something. The public something is a official that works in the public uh, to to do stuff. I don't know how Koshaku became Duke, but that's like the Duke. It is a politically high level nobleman with who's very closely related to the king. Um, there you go. Two lines for Josh.
規則を知っていれば、生活はすごく単純になる。So, if you knew the rules, then your life would be simple. Your life would become simple. Basically, you'd live a simple life. ガ
Mm.
レス公爵も同じように規則には従わなければならないって分かっているから、公爵を恨むつもりもないし、どっちにしてもこっち、どっちにしても公爵も本当は怒っていないのが分かっている。So, um, because because the Duke also believes the rules must be followed, um, she did well. This is the only part that's tripping me up. Is it she didn't hold a grudge towards the Duke, or he didn't hold one towards her? ガラス、公爵を恨む.
I think
I
it's
feel like
toward the Duke because it's like watashi wa uramu, right?
okay, I can see that. So she didn't hold a grudge towards the Duke because he's also someone who believes that the rules must be followed.
hmm So
ど、
she yeah.
どっちにしても、あー公爵も本当は怒ってないのが分かってる。Um, I'm not really completely sure what the Dolce ni Stimmel is doing, but she understands that the Duke is not uh, angry about this.
Yeah. This basically means like anyway.
Ah,
Literally says no matter, right? Like no
mm,
matter which one you do.
mm,
Dochi. So dochi is like which one you do, even so even if you did left or even if you did right, the outcome is the same. Is basically what it says. Dochi ni shitemo. So even if you know that the Duke isn't mad at her, and you know that she doesn't hold a grudge against him, she knows that he's not actually angry. Which
mm.
sounds weird to specify it that way, because it's more of a filler word, right? It's like anyhow,
Yeah.
anyway, rather than being like a literal which one are we referring to? It's just saying
Mm.
whichever choice you make, this is the outcome. So anyway, how it be translated. And the next line goes to Grayson.
もしかしたち、騎士との起きてもそんなに悪くないのかもしれない。
Hi. Do you know what a kishido is?
Hmm,
Do you know what the do kanji is?
I think that's like a path.
Mm-hmm. Michi. Michi means path. Normally, when it's added with something else, it's not like a physical path. It is a path the way in which you live your life through. So you'll see this with things like the way of tea, or in this case, the way of kishiing. Kishi is something that Alanna really wants to be. Do you know what a kishi is?
Knight.
It is a knight. So kishido is the way of the knight. So this is probably will be translated as chivalry because of the okite.
That.
Okite means law. So literally it says the law of knighthood, but that's normally translated as the law of chivalry when you're talking about like semantic meanings of that, rather than literally the law of knighthood. Moshikashitara. Do you know what any part of that means? Moshi
Uh,
tara. Moshikashitara.
no.
So moshi on its own means like perhaps, if kind of word. And tada is one of the 5 if slash when statements in Japanese, which literally is used to refer to the next time a certain event occurs. So it's not every time you trip, it is the next time I trip type of idea. Moshikashitara. So for example, yeah. So this is basically saying moshikashitara, if. But this really just translated as perhaps. But literally says if the next time we do something is basically what it's saying. But it's just a way to say perhaps. So
As a whole?
when doing ifness. So perhaps the way of knighthood is warukunai. What does warukunai mean?
Not bad.
Not bad. You're right. You know what kamoshirenai means?
No.
This is the exact same meaning as moshikashitara, which is perhaps. So we've said perhaps twice in Japanese. This is very common. Japanese will do a repetition of meaning thing in order to make it like really obvious that we're doing stuff. Specifically, this is more like the grammar if, and this is like the word if. So if so in English we don't really like separate these ideas. So we would only have perhaps once in the sentence. But like I said, it's very common in Japanese to repeat it like twice. It's not like uncommon to do that. And thus you'd ignore one of them. Like you can't really say perhaps. It sounds weird in English. It's kind of like how in English you have to have tense agreement, where we have to have ed. I went to the store and then I bought milk, right? When and then all have to be past tense. And well, in Japanese, you don't need past tense agreement. This basically means that we have to have vagueness agreement of perhapsness is kind of what's going on. So starting with moshikashitara, we kind of need to have some kind of vague ending to go on here, which doesn't have to be kamoshiranai because there's other vague ending modifiers, but kamoshiranai is a vague ending modifier that is normally translated as perhaps. So just it was a long word to say we have two perhapses in the sentence. Does not matter. So perhaps what? What is this saying?
Perhaps um, perhaps chivalry is not a bad thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what it says. And sonna ni ends with a ni. Do you know what the ni particle marks?
Mm,
The ni
two.
particle, yeah, it does mark two. The ni particle marks a adverb, specifically the final state of the verb. And two is a common indefinite article, I think, is what it's grammatically called in English, which doesn't exist in Japanese, to refer to the destination of something, either time or location. And the time and location destination of something is the state in which the verb will end. So because of that, two is the way ni is translated about 50% of the time if ever we're talking about a destination location. In this case, we're more focusing on the adverbal meaning of it, rather like an adverb in English, like li, like quickly, rather than the physical location of something. But grammarly in Japanese, they're both adverbs. They're just not adverbs in English. Sonna means that, so we're basically adding that level of warukuness. It is not. So it's not that bad, is how we'd say that in English. It's not that bad. So that's sonna, right? Like sore, right? That. And it's a adverb, right? Modifying the level of badness something is. It's not that bad. そんなに悪くないよ. It's not that bad. And the next line is going to go to Josh because he has the physical book in front of him and he'll be able to flip between the two pages easily.
I actually don't. Let me open it up.
That is your homework. Open it up because I am not gonna. Too
Um,
hard.
okay, I'm there.
Yeah. Page.
Um, ooh, is this, oh, Hachinichi? I don't know. The eighth day.
Yeah. It's definitely not Hachinichi. It's probably Yokka with a glottal stop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 4日続く、冬至祭りの2日目。ロアルド王は、ゲアリー、アレックス、ラウルと他の14歳になった従者見習いを従者に、あ、昇格した。Okay, so, あ、4日続く I guess the some sort of winter festival that continues for 8 days on the second day of it. It's the way I'm interpreting the beginning.
Yes. Yep. I would. Yeah. Yeah.
The King Roarudo, some king whose name I can't say in English.
So.
What? He took Gary, Alex, and Ralph and some other 14, well, some other kids that were turning 14.
Hmm.
Um, well, some other pages that were turning 14
Yeah.
and お従者に昇格した。And had them, I'm thinking, serve him?
Shokaku, sorry, shokaku is promotion.
Oh, he promoted them.
So
So
the
he promoted.
Jusha Mirai became just Jusha, which is basically in
Ah,
English, the page became squires.
ah,
The
very
the
cool.
the apprentice servants became servants. Guess squire, and it's not really a word in Japanese. Okay. 住所はそれぞれ騎士に使える. So this is like the serving one that you mentioned before. The squires, right? They each were serving their own knight. 夕食の給仕は引き続いてするが、その後は従者の
Hiroma.
広場で掃除をする。Although the squires will continue to serve the evening dinner, afterwards the the squires get to eat food in the hall, which I guess that's not for the other ones. What? 夕食の習字は引き続いているから。Yeah, it's I feel like that was already happening though. Josh, read the English book. Do you have it? I am so
Yeah.
confused.
All
I
right, let
thought
me
they
pull it up.
already were eating afterwards. Is it saying like the
Um,
apprentices have to like serve the squires now? Like shokuju to do food in the big hall, the squires the location where they get to eat is different. They get to go eat in the squire hall. Versus before, I don't know where they ate. Maybe they ate in the kitchen or something. But now they
okay,
have a
so
place they can eat.
yeah, you got it exactly right. They
Yes.
still waited on table, but afterward they took their meals in the squire's hall.
Yeah, they got a new location to eat. Great. Next line is for Grayson. The first word is hitsuyo.
必要な、時は夜の、パテで、this one was 貴族の、
給仕。
給仕もする。Okay. I feel like I've seen that one before.
Kyuji was in the previous line, and it means like waiting on people, like a waiter.
Okay.
So the subject is squires. Squires kyuji mo suru. What does that mean?
Uh, they're they're waiting on people.
They're acting as waiters on people. These to who? Kisoku no kyuji mo suru.
The nobles
Yeah, they wait on the nobles. Where are they waiting on the nobles? Party de.
at the party,
Yoru no party de.
the evening party.
So. Hitsuyou na toki wa. What does that mean?
I think it's the something time.
Toki is time. Hitsuyou means when it is needed. Necessary. So when necessary, the squires also waited on the nobles during night parties. So not only did they do it during evening meal, but also at night parties, which you'd think would be the same thing, but I guess they're different. Um, Next line will also be you. The reading is up over there.
従者見習いはでなくていいのだが。Okay, I know the sha. That's like the
Jusha was what we
sha.
saw earlier, which was squire, and mirai means apprentice. So apprentice squire is a page.
Okay, okay. Um, the page. Uh,
Denakte. Do you know what deru means?
yeah, that was the one that's like to appear.
Yeah, good memory. I love that meaning. I bully all the teachers that call it something else. And then it's nakte. What does nakte mean? Deru, denai.
Not appear.
You're right, to not appear. So it says pages do not appear e. What does e mean?
Good.
Yes, it is good for pages not to appear. That is the literal meaning of this. This is not used to mean that way, though. If you ever say e with a when-if statement, which theoretically therefore is like a when and statement, it is used to mean it is good or one should do this. So it says uh, pages do not appear, basically. Pages should not appear. It's good if pages do not appear. So this is explaining what I was confused about with the previous line. But basically, evening parties are special, and the pages don't get to go to serve at the evening parties. Only the squires get to serve if they need extra help at the evening parties. So the pages don't get to go to that. It's fine for the pages to not go. And the next line will go to Josh.
アラナは友人たちの新しい部屋への引っ越しを手伝った。So Alana helped her friends move into their new rooms. これから、I actually don't know. I know the meaning, I don't know how to read this.
I think it's tsukaeru. I was close.
使える? Like, this isn't to use though.
It is to serve.
Right, okay. But it's still 使える?
Yeah, it's right over there. Kishi ni tsukaeru, to serve your knights.
これから使える騎士の続き部屋だ。これから使える騎士の続き部屋だ。
The Tsuzuki is kind of weird. I think it's just saying the knight you will continue to serve, but the continue is just in a weird place because Tsuzuki Heya shouldn't mean anything.
Okay.
Tsuzuki Heya. Oh, I'm wrong. Tsuzuki Heya is a word. It means adjoining rooms. So this is
okay.
And then the squire's in that room. I was
okay. So
I was like,
here on, I guess from here on out, the squires are in like rooms adjoining the knights they serve.
はい。
そして、これから自分の暮らしはどう変わるのだろうと思った。So then she wondered how life would change for those squires.
Perfect. So that'll for Grayson, in case you're curious, is another vagueness ender. That'll. And I think Grayson can do the next line.
Okay. いろいろ、状況は、変わったが、友人たちは変わらなかった。
Do you know what kawaru means?
変わる。I feel like I've seen that kanji before.
It's a very common kanji, kawaru.
Try to remember what it means.
So kawaru
Yeah.
means change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's used in different ways in different contexts, but the main idea of is change, and it does mean change in these two contexts, so the other meanings we can ignore. So something changes. 状況. You know what a 状況 is?
Not sure what that is.
状況 means situation. So いろいろ all sorts of situations can change. However, 友人たち, what does that mean?
Friends?
Friends, exactly, with the S from tachi. So the friends will kawaranai, same verb as kawaru, but we added anai.
Will not change.
Exactly. So even though a whole bunch of different things in their situation are changing, the fact that they are friends will not change. 従者たちはわずかな暇を見つけては、アランナと武器 Hey! Out! Sorry, my dog went where she wasn't allowed to go. Where am I? アランナはジョナサンのもとにやってきた。I don't know what was it. Oh wait. So whenever the squires would get just a little bit of free time, when they would find a little bit of free time, then Alanna and Jonathan would come over to those squires in order to like hang out with them, right? Sorry, I was wrong. The squires would come over to Alanna and Jonathan, so the opposite. So they look for them. それでも、アラナは従者未来の授業の間、友達がいなくて寂しく思った。However, even though they came over to visit Alanna a lot, Alanna, during her classes, started to feel really lonely that her friends were not there. And the next line will go to Josh.
今ではもう、ギャリーが礼儀、作法 maybe? 礼儀 say 作法 for now.
I think it's just Sahol.
作法作法の時間に意地の悪い冗談を言うこともなければ、アレックスに数字のひねくれた問題を教えてもらったりもできないから。
Weirdly enough, the word Sahol can be pronounced as Sakuho. Both are possible. I've only seen Sahol before, but Sakuho is written underneath it. But
Interesting.
Sakuho apparently means manner of production. Well, Sahol has manner of production and manners, and it's just manners in this context. So
Okay, that makes
Sahol is
sense.
correct. Sakuho makes it like Sakuhin.
So, I guess during the uh I almost want to say like manners lecture,
Mm-hmm.
uh Gary would 意地の悪いに冗談を言うこともなければ Um, this is kind of a weird sentence. Gary got Gary Hiji no warui jodan o yu kotobo. He like wouldn't make a
So the people who became 14 years old and were graduated were
Mhm.
Gary and Alex.
Okay.
So I think that'll help you with figuring out what's going on. There's Dickie Knight.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with Alex. Alex ni suji no hine kureta 問題を教えてもらったもできない. So Alex couldn't teach Alanna a hine kureta, which to me sounds like difficult math problem.
Yeah.
So Alex was unable to teach her a difficult math problem. And uh back to the Gary. Iji warui jodan. So like a bad joke or an ill-mannered joke, like a rude joke.
Mm.
O iu koto mo nakereba. So like is the nakereba not like is it doing something different here than a conditional?
Um, Nai. So areba. Reba. I'll take the off. Reba as a and slash when statement, if statement, has another use other than being the generic one that doesn't have any special meaning at all to
Mm,
mean and. Specifically, it says if this exists, the other thing also exists. So you might see with something like if there are blue flowers, there are also red flowers. So it'd be like
mm.
aohane mo areba, aohane akai hane mo aru will normally be how it will be written. So it'll be the areba and normally a mo in the sentence. So it's the that is a not as common grammar point for it.
Okay,
So you just forgot
so
that.
so the mo coming before that, koto
It's
mo
this mo.
nakereba.
It's this mo tarimo.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay,
It's reba and then mo in the next sentence.
that makes sense.
So it's just saying if this exists, right, aru, which in this case
Mhm.
is negative form nai. So if one cannot have the existence of telling jokes badly, then also one cannot have Alex teaching her good math problems, like how to solve hard math problems. So both these situations must exist if the other one exists. So it's a fancy way to say and.
Yeah.
If if this exists, so does that. It's just it is just a way to do that. Uh,
Okay. So Gary can't say bad jokes in the manners class, and Alex is no longer able to teach her difficult math.
Poor Alanna. She's so lonely. ある晩、ジョナサンが戦士の歴史の本を持ってアラナの部屋に来た。So one night, Jonathan came over to Alana's room while carrying a book on the history of wars. Jonathan にやりとして理由を言った。And Jonathan, he's smirking and gives Alanna some kind of reasoning for why he brought this book to her. Um, and this clause right here is going to go to Grayson.
いを話むとつまらなく思える
And this is senso, which means war.
work
War.
war. Um,
Oops.
Where should I start with
Do you know
this?
what? So senso?
We
Was
said
that?
that was war.
Yeah. So so it's basically I think that war is atsumoiru tsumaranaku.
Wait. That was boring.
Yes. Uh, with is hon o yomu to tsumoranaku. Do you know what to means?
That was like multiple meanings. There was the wait. No, that was date. Never mind. I
A
thought that
lot
was
of particles have
and.
multiple. So to
Yeah.
can means and. Specifically, it is a and between nouns. Is
Yeah.
yomu a noun?
Oh no, that's a verb.
It is a verb, so it can't be that to. The other to is an if slash when statement, or it's a adverbish kind of modifier that is used to describe something somebody said. In this context, it's if slash when. It says when you hono yomu, it will be tsumaranai.
Okay. When you read books about war, it's boring.
Exactly. 戦争がどんな風に戦われたか教えてくれたら喜んで給仕を教えるけど。If you teach me about what kind of fights were going on in here, then I will, happily teach you how to do math, Alanna. And the next line will go to Josh, and I think we'll end here today.
授業中、アラナが説明すると、戦争が
もの。
本物みたいに面白く思えると、ジョージは気づいていたのだった。So during class, Alana explained, uh, okay, so 戦争が本物みたいに面白く思えると、ジョージは気づいたのだった。Is it that she explained that uh, the
No.
act? Oh.
If he explained that, then the thing he'd be explaining would be this. Since this is occurring
uh,
afterwards, this must be the when slash if to. So it says when Alanna was explaining things during class, the one who
mm,
kizukus is John.
uh-huh. So, 戦争が本物みたいに面白く思える. So, John realizes that the like the act of war itself can be thought
Mm.
of as interesting.
Yeah, that's what it says. That real war is interesting, but war in books is boring. Somehow Alanna explains it,
Ah,
and he's like, "Oh, it's so interesting right now." When you say it, so this right here would be the toe. That is probably the the information toe that I was talking about before, like the quoting, like what it is that he realized was that information. So the three toes. It's kind of fun to get the two different toes in the same sentence. We just needed a second toe, which would be like Alanna told like Alex. get all three toes in here. Um, okay, so I'll stop sharing.